An area that gets little attention by property owners and builders is ventilation. Many roofing professionals estimate that 90% of the homes in North America are inadequately ventilated. This is one problem area that can be corrected when a replacement roof is installed. The attics you work on need effective ventilation to keep it cooler in summer and drier in winter. I've seen attics get so hot that the heat below the roof buckles the shingles from underneath. They curl up and they look like a piece of bologna frying. An overheated attic can also destroy the effectiveness of insulation and ruin siding, never mind keeping a house overheated in the summer months.
It is proven. Attic ventilation is a completely necessary thing to do. The Federal Housing Authority, the Engineered Wood Association, many national building codes, and all major roofing manufacturers require the installation of attic ventilation. Over the years, a multitude of devices have been developed to ventilate the attic. Roof vents, wind turbines, and power fans, among others. Some were just plain ugly, but all were marginally effective. Soffit and fascia vents alone failed to provide air movement across the underside of the roof's sheathing. Similarly, passive roof louver vents, if used alone, offer a very small area of circulation, limited to about a 5-foot area around the opening. The same is true of turbine vents. They only vent the space directly below the opening. To make matters worse, tests have shown that air, rain, and snow may enter through turbines even while they're turning. Gable and end wall louvers alone give as little ventilation as the roof vent, and the area vented depends on wind direction. Power vents are a good alternative, but have some limitations. We only recommend them in areas where a ridge vent and soffit vents cannot be installed. For your attic ventilation to be effective in combating heat buildup and moisture condensation, the entire underside of the roof sheathing should be ventilated continuously and uniformly. The best way to do this is with the installation of intake vents and ridge vents. It's important to understand that Cobra ridge vents must be part of a ventilation system to work properly. They are designed to work in conjunction with soffit vents or fascia vents. To meet the minimum government ventilation standards, follow the 1 in 300 rule. Calculating ventilation by this rule can be complicated, but GAF has made it easy for you by developing a chart shown in the Pro Field Guide, Ventilation Literature, and the GAF website. This chart can show you how much ridge vent and soffit ventilation is needed. All you have to do is calculate the square footage of the attic and look up the amount of Cobra ridge vent and soffit you need to install. Cobra ridge vent has become the industry leader in ridge ventilation because it is a proven product that protects millions of homes. It's exceptionally efficient, installs quickly, and looks fantastic. On Golden Pledge installations, installing Cobra ridge vents is required, except when they cannot be installed due to the building's architecture. On Systems Plus installations, Cobra ridge vents count as one of your system's components. The Cobra coiled ridge vent can either be hand-nailed or applied with a nail gun. You must have a 3 in 12 minimum pitch and a maximum 20 in 12 pitch. On structures without ridge boards, make a 1-inch cut along both sides of the ridge. On structures with ridged boards, make a 1 3/4 inch cut on each side of the ridge. Leave 6 inches of uncut sheathing at each gable end to protect ends from wind-driven rains. Be careful to set your saw depth to cut the sheathing only. Next, cover the entire ridge with Cobra ridge vent. Use roofing nails to tack the vent in place. Finally, install ridge caps over the Cobra ridge vent. Use the Cobra Smart Nails supplied in the package. Do not overdrive the nails. When using the nail gun version, attach the nail gun adapter to the end of the nail gun and use the 1 3/4 inch nails supplied in the roll. Be sure to disconnect the air supply line prior to attaching the adapter. Always be sure to install the capping to match the shingles that are being installed. You install Cobra Rigid Vent 2 and Snow Country Ridge Vents in a similar manner. To understand the installation of Cobra 2 and Snow Country Ridge Vents, let's first take a look at some of the unique features of these ridge vents. First, there's the self-closing end. This unique design allows for very easily finished ends. There's no need for the caulking, end caps, rivets, etc. that some ridge vents need. Simply bend to conform to the roof and install. Second are the male-female tabs on the ends. All you have to do is align these tabs and butt the ridge vents together as you go across the ridge. Finally, there are the nail guidelines. When capping the ridge vent, use these lines to properly place your nails. Cobra 2 and Snow Country ridge vents use the same openings as a regular Cobra ridge vent. Cut the opening to size and install the ridge vent. Tack the vents in place and then cap the ridge vent with appropriate capping. Just make sure to trim the second-to-last ridge vent section to assure the self-closing end is installed properly at the end of the ridge. Ridge vents are a great choice unless there is a lack of ridge area for adequate exhaust. For these situations, GAF Elk suggests using MasterFlow ventilation products.